Alright, this is going to be my first video, or call them devlogs, on this new game project that I am now working on for class, that I will be working on throughout the rest of the winter and the spring here. And it is focused around the idea of this monkey that is working its way through a platforming level and is collecting bananas as he works his way through these levels. And there is are multiple bears that work as enemies within the game and try to uh, get the monkey as he works his way through each of the levels. So we'll start by taking a look at Unity and seeing what I have started within Unity itself. As you can see here, I have my monkey, the main character, right there. I just have a bear prefab over there so you can see what it looks like, and you can zoom into each of them. As you can see, I've done all the art in a pixel art style using an online tool called Piskel. Works very well to make these pretty quickly, and as you can see, it all looks good within Unity. And I've created these different, what are called tiles, to make these levels, and this is just like a demo scene that I've put together so that I can get all the functionality of the game working, and then after I do that, then I'll be able to create more fleshed out and proper levels for the game. One of the first things that we can look at here, we can click play, and we give it a second here. You can see that the monkey has a little bit of animation. I still need to do some more work on that to get it working properly so that he's only animating when the player is moving. But as you can see, I am able to move the player. I need to change the speed a little bit so that it's not quite as fast, and as I said, you change some of the animation stuff so he turns the other direction when he's going backwards. And one of the things that you can probably see right off the start here is the way that the camera works, and how there's a little bit of this, it's called dead zone in the middle here, where the camera's not moving, and then once it gets to the edge it starts to move, and if it gets all the way over to the edge, which it just barely does, it starts moving at full speed. And this is using a add-in called Cinemachine, and can show what that looks like here. If we go back into our game view here, you can see that this box right here is the dead zone, and it tries to get the yellow dot into that dead zone area, but if you're just in the dead zone, then it's fine and won't move the camera. The blue is where it slowly starts to accelerate, and then the red can't quite get into it, but it would move at the speed of the monkey if it gets into the red zone. So this creates a smoother, better looking camera than just something that's locked right onto the player, and gives a better feel to the game. The majority of the work, or I can actually show how these tiles work. That's one of the big things I've worked on so far, are these what are called tile maps. If we come into this right here, we can see that I've made these tiles within Piskel. If we open this here, oh, can't see that. I've made these tiles within Piskel, and then you're able to paint these tiles onto the background here, onto this grid, and that allows you to create these different levels very quickly and easily just using the tiles that you've made already, and you don't have to do a ton of work to create a level within this system. And you can see that there's a collider around the whole tile map that acts as the boundary for the monkey and the other objects between the tile map and themselves. But the majority of the work that I've done is within the code. If we take a look at that, we'll start with our player script here. And this is just giving inputs to the player, but what I've followed some instructions in another video on how to use ray casting rather than the physics engine for the movement of the player, and this allows a better feeling player movement than the physics engine is able to, especially in a 2D game like this. And the videos that I used were very helpful in creating all of this, so this is pretty much all taken from those videos. And the majority of this is laying out, or majority of this section is laying out where these items called rays come out of the player object, and also how many there are and where they're spaced along the player object. If we come back into Unity here, I can show what those look like. If we click play here, and then after it starts playing, we switch back into scene view. If I zoom in here, you can see that there are these blue lines coming out of the bottom of the monkey here, and these are the rays, and you can see that it's calculating those are what are calculating the distance between the monkey and the collider here of the terrain. So if we come back into the code, then we can see that code, which is what is making those rays work. And then these two sections right here are what are telling the game how to use those rays to calculate collisions both in the horizontal and vertical directions, so he's able to stand on the floor and also not go through walls on the ends. So this has been a very good start to my controller for the monkey, and I'll continue to work on that. Right now I don't have any form of jumping, so that'll be my next step that I work on, is getting a jump working, and that's often one of the hardest parts of a 2D platformer, to get a jump that feels good. But I'm going to continue using the videos that I was, because they've been extremely helpful and seem to be providing good results. And after that, I can begin to work on some of the gameplay mechanics and how the monkey is able to collect the bananas and work its way through levels and interact with the levels, and the way that the bear is able to interact with the monkey and start having some more challenge involved into each of the levels in the gameplay.